Hello guys, today I want us to look at some of the commonly asked entrepreneurship questions. So we are going to look at who is an entrepreneur, the qualities of an entrepreneur, differences between an entrepreneur and an employed person, yeah, and also we'll look at sources of business ideas for that entrepreneur. We'll also look at sources of capital for the entrepreneur, where he or she usually gets the capital to start that business. And we'll also look at some of the common causes of business failure. So those basically are some of the questions that are usually asked in entrepreneurship, both either in CPA level or the KASNEB papers, and also even in kNEC exams. So we are going to start by defining who is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who usually converts a business idea into a real life business, yeah. So from the idea that you have, you convert it until it becomes a business that will help you to make profit, yes. Then qualities of an entrepreneur. So for you to become an entrepreneur, to be able to come up with that idea and convert it into business, one, you must be someone who is a risk taker, yeah. You should be able to take risks, yeah. To come up with a certain idea and put it into action, and to go and start that business, it's not easy. So it requires someone who is a risk taker. Number two, you need to be creative and innovative. So for someone to start a certain business, you have first of all either to go and sit down, you look at maybe, for example, if there is any market gap in your area, so that you are able to start that business. So you have to be creative enough to be able to start that business. Then number three, you have to be patient and persuasive. By patient, I mean you have to be when you start a business, you do not expect that you're going to get profits immediately. So you say like maybe either some months, some years before it has stabilized and be able to give you profits that you require. So you need to be someone who is patient enough, yeah, and also perseverance, such that you can go and approach the customers, and even if they give you negative comments about your products, you still are able to move on and continue with your product. Then the other quality of an entrepreneur, it's someone who is goal oriented. When you start that business, you have an aim, you have a purpose, so you work towards achieving that goal of yours, or that objective that you have. Those are the qualities of an entrepreneur. Then you can also be asked about what motivates someone to become an entrepreneur. What motivates you to want to start your own business? So number one, it can be need for money. For example, if you are unemployed, or yes, you are employed, but the income that you are getting from employment, it's too little, and you believe that when you start your own business, you are able to sustain yourself more. So money can be one of the motivating factor. Number two, it's for family business continuity. So you find out that most of the families have a certain business that they have started for many years, and you are born in that family. So it's like automatic, you will also become an entrepreneur, so that you are able to continue with the family business. And the third one also, it's passion, what you love doing. For example, you love maybe singing, you love making hair, you can go and open your own salon. So those are some of the motivating factors that motivate someone to become an entrepreneur and start his or her business, yes. Another question you can be asked, it's the sources of business ideas. Where can you get the idea to start that business that we are talking about? So one of the ways, it's hobby or interest. Like I've said, you have interest in plating hair, so you can just go ahead and from that idea that you get from the hobby that you have. Yeah, you can go and start a salon. Another way, it's from the mass media, from what you hear from the radios, from the TVs. From that you can be motivated to you can get an idea of a certain business that you can be able to start. Also, it can be from a brainstorming, where you're going to sit down and think of a gap, yeah, in your area, and you decide to start that business. Another way, it's from the trade exhibitions, yeah, attending the trade fairs and exhibitions, where we are going to meet most of the traders in those areas, like the shows. Then you go and interact with them, you see the kind of products they are dealing with, then you also decide to venture into those manufacturing those products. So those are some of the sources of business ideas. Another question that it's commonly tested, it's on sources of capital. So an entrepreneur has come up with this idea, but where can he or she get the sources, the capital to start that business of his? So one way, from your personal savings. So most of the people you can meet, for example, if the business requires like 100,000, so you can get the 20,000 from the savings that you have from other sources. You can get 8 from borrowing loans from banks and other financial institutions. You can also borrow from your family and friends that capital, that money. And you can also lease and rent the equipment. So you can go and rent, for example, if it's land for a certain period of time, you can rent if it's a building for a certain period of time. So those are some of the sources of business, some of the sources of capital, where an entrepreneur can get capital. Another commonly asked question is causes of business failure. So this entrepreneur has gone ahead and started his or her business. Now this business, it's almost falling, yeah. So what could have motivated, or what could have made that business to fall? So one of the things, it's lack of capital. For example, you had estimated the amount of capital that you needed, so it's lack of capital. Another thing, it's poor planning. So I remember in the previous video, if you haven't watched it, kindly go back and watch it about business plan. So for every idea that you have, before you put it into practice, ensure you have a business plan. So if you don't have a good business plan, like the one we looked at, the characteristics of a good business plan. So for example, if you had estimated your business and you provided a poor planning, so that can also be cause of business failure, which is poor planning. Another thing, it's lack of necessary skills and experience. For example, it's if it's opening a salon, you don't have the required skills, you don't know how to do that, so you cannot be able to continue with that business. Automatically it's going to fall. Another cause of business failure, it's government, unfavorable government regulations. So government comes up with says, for example, they raise tax in your area, in that area or that industry of that you belong in. So that can also make your business to fall. So those are some of the causes of business failure. Another question that you can look at, another commonly asked question, it's the disadvantages of sole proprietorship. So we said sole proprietorship is one form of business organization. So in this category, this entrepreneur is in a sole proprietorship, because in sole proprietorship, this is where you own and run your own business individually, or yourself. You don't share that business with anyone else. You are your own manager. So some of the advantages is that, number one, you are your own boss. So from being your own boss, you can be able to dictate what happens in that business of yours. Number two, you are able to get all the profits alone, unlike when you are employed. If you are employed, you only get some of the share or the salary only. But in this case, if the business is yours, you enjoy all the profits alone. Another advantage of sole proprietorship is that there is secrecy, yeah, because you don't have to share any information with anyone. So everything that you do in your business, it's kept as a secret. Is kept as a secret, yes. And basically those are some of the commonly asked questions in entrepreneurship. Unless you have any other question, you can write it in the comment section, and we'll be able to look at it later on. So kindly, if you have not yet subscribed to my video, kindly do so that I'll be able to make more and more content. Good luck. Bye guys.